Yo, what's up guys? Welcome to my class. Right, right. So today's class will be about anti-Jun, and to give you a brief summary of what I'm gonna do. So first, I'm gonna intro the character, tell her strengths and weaknesses and her key tools. Then I'm gonna let you guys know on how she usually tries to play neutral, aggressively, and defensively. And later on, I will explain how to exploit her in each one of those situations, and also the gimmicks they like to do. So to start off, Jun is a character that she's basically the definition of a waifu character. She has a lot of strings and both sides that make her very evasive and allow her to mix the opponent up lah per se. So I believe you seen some Jun players abuse stuff like this, or back to strings, or maybe like 1 to 2 into mix-ups and so forth. In overall, she's just a very textbook definition of what a waifu character is. So, putting that aside, people generally play Jun in a sense that she has a lot of good tools. Sometimes they like to throw out random tools launchers in neutral because they are safe. Sometimes they like to use like a lot of strings like 442 into mix up. And when they're on the back foot, sometimes they try to throw like Kipamos, for example, back 3 and Kan lah. Something you would see in Asuka as well. And but what sets Jun apart from the Asuka and other waifus is that her punishment is what is it? She has a very awkward playstyle, but her punishment is insanely good. But I think the main part is that a lot of her safe launches and punishment require her to lose HP. So if let's say I do 441 plus 2, right? Like if you look at my Jun's HP, she's losing both like regular life and chip damage life. So going to her strengths and weaknesses, right? The thing about Jun's strengths is that even though it's kind of stubby, it is actually very hard for the opponent to try and pressure Jun because she really thrives in preventing the opponent from just pressuring for free. She's like the anti Tekken 8 character. You want to maintain pressure? I got parry. Can. And the best thing about her is that her damage in her combos is very good. Yeah, so she has a very easy time like capitalizing on opponents who get too greedy, and the damage she gets from it is rewarded. I also should mention she's got a 10 frame dig jab that wall splats and does 36 damage. It's launch punishable on block, sure, but if you use it as a punish, it's a bit insane lah. And if you use this at a wall, she gets pretty much 85 damage just from a single low punish. Imagine you block a low at the wall and you're dead. Just like that. No, it's natural on hit. This is a 10 frame punish. Yeah, her punishment is insanely good. So why does she have this? Because she can, that's why. So first up, we have a 10 frame, which is, apart from her jabs, which are like, I think easily one of the lowest damage in the game. Look, 13 damage. However, her other I-10, which is like it reduces her HP by a bit, but 36 damage on the spot. Let's see, 1.1, 1.81. Yeah. So another thing about it, for some reason, right, her 10-free punish is actually longer range than her actual jab. So if you want to go for punishment, it will be ideal if you can just use up for one instead, because higher damage and you know, if their back is against the wall, they lose half their life just like that. And apart from that, is that she has really good launchers. So she got 421+2, which is a safe launcher that is also a heat engage. What is it? Heat dash. That is also heat confirmable. So let me show you. Let's see. Where's random block? Yeah. Like I can just do this over and over, and the moment it connects, I can just hold forward and then like you can continue the combo. It's a really good tool because it's basically, she essentially just has a hit confirmable heat dash launcher. So you don't need, so unless if you're trying to just like get the plus frames to end the round, you can just shit it out and, you know, go hope for the best, because you don't lose HP in heat anyways with Jun. So you can just shit it out 24/7 over and over and over. Yeah, safe launchers that deal pretty much half your life bar. Half your life bar from a regular down forward 2 combo. Just like that. And I didn't even introduce the heat burst as well in during combo. A bit insane lah. Now apart from that, along with the fact that she has a safe launcher, her neutral game is actually a bit awkward to deal with. I'm not gonna say it's like top tier, but I know that it's very hard to approach her. Like imagine you just trying to approach a character like Jun, and she just shits out 443, 443, 441+2, 442. What else? What range is she effective on? She's effective on like around range 2 area, because like she actually, I'll actually explain a bit later. She's effective in range 2. I'll explain the rest a bit later, like in shortly. Like, because I already have that plan already. So weaknesses. Weaknesses, right, is that she has a very hard time opening a turtle herself, because the one thing about Jun is that unless if you're willing to abuse the fuck of 441+2, which not only is very linear, like very linear. Hold on. Oh wait. Like sidewalk here. What? Side steps are trash, sidewalks are good. I don't know why this game is like this. Anyways, yeah. So 441+2, right? It is actually one of the only her main tools to actually get the chip damage in, because unlike other characters, right, her lows are kind of like lackluster in a sense, unless if you somehow manage to get into Gen stance and do Gen 1, then that's really beefy. But apart from that, like she has a bit of trouble trying to approach the opponent and just simply trying to open up, because a lot of players are very tolerant in just dealing with so many down back 3s in a row. And yeah, like this assumes that you're actually really confident in your turtling. But apart from that, apart from the fact that it's actually really hard for her to actually make comebacks against turtles, she also loses HP in her combo. So keep in mind, I'm just doing a regular combo here. Oh wow, it reset. Basically, just from that combo, right, I lost like I think I lost like 15 to 20 HP, like unrecoverable, just because I decided to do a regular combo. And while it does do a lot of damage, it it doesn't help it doesn't help, especially if, let's say, you are a pixel HP away and your opponent's like full HP. You try to do a regular combo to make the comeback, but you lose so much HP in the process that you are essentially killing yourself when you are on the back foot. So she requires you to actually like get the head start first in order for it to be, be offset. But again, because she doesn't really have the tools to snowball, unless if your opponent is very greedy, very antsy. If they're the type of person to turtle, it's really hard for her to actually get anything started, because she can't really snowball her way to victory. And let's see, that's okay. Those are the main weaknesses I've already stated lah. So let's move on to her key tools. So first off, we're gonna go with like what she has in like close range, what she has in mid range and long range. So for close range, right, you got your jabs. Now, 1-2 is a very good tool, because this, right, the thing about 1-2 is that it's actually a natural counter. 1-2. The thing about this is that it's actually natural counter hit. So if, let's say, you do 1-2, right, you can actually visually see if they get snuff them out, and you can do the extension right afterwards. There's a proper term for it. It's called G-clef, yeah. So if you guys see like Koma players using forward one, or you see Juggernaut players using 1-1, it's the same thing with Julia. I mean with Jun. Her 1-2 is a counter hit confirmable like tool that you can use to prevent people from mashing really easily. And it does a lot of damage too. And it leads to a mix-up. So it leads to a mix-up as well, because it leads to her, what do you call it? Izu stance. I don't know the actual Izumo, I think. I forgot the actual name. But the point is, this leads to her getting a hit engager, safe hit engager legs, a hell sweep, or you can use a counter tool, which guarantees a 13 frame follow-up. So like this.
Yeah, it's called Izumo.
Yeah. Yeah, 13 frame. Oh. Oh my god. For some reason it says plus 23 in the frame data area, but you can only get guaranteed like 13 frame. See, that's a 14 frame. You cannot do anything, but you can get a guaranteed 13 frame regardless.
I think it might be a nosebleed stun or something.
Yeah, but it regardless, right? You get a 13 frame no matter what, so it's always guaranteed. Like I don't like the frame data for some reason is a bit weird, but it's what you get guaranteed lah, 13 frame. So yeah, basically your 1-2 string is really good in neutral. You can just do jabs over and over to get the +1, and if you think they're going to go for like a mash, you can just do 1-2, and if you see them getting snuffed out, you just complete the full string. So apart from that, close range, you got down back 3, like you got down back 3, you got back 2. Let's continue with back 2. So back 2 is one of the tools to prevent their opponents from starting, because the first hit actually has good tracking, like decent tracking lah, not good, but the second hit of back to 2 has insanely good tracking. Like side right. See? Yeah, it's really hard to step her, because this string, it makes it so that like, you cannot simply just step for free. You have to actually like you either commit to the sidestep right, or you just block. Unless if you really right, where her step is really good, you can actually like just abuse this over and over because it's safe, it tracks really well, and it's 14 frame. It makes it hard for the opponents to try and step in close range and maybe in range 1 as well, because you know, like it's June, she just has it. So you might be thinking to yourself, what if the opponent just blocks it? Like, okay, like it's -9 and then you lose your turn, right? But if let's say in the next interaction you already know the opponent is just going to, you know, not press a button, you got back to 1, which goes into gun stance if you hold forward, or if you hold back you go to I forgot the miasma or something, I forgot the actual name. But the point is, you go into stance and it gives you a low or mid mix up. And keep in mind, this wall splats gives you a wall combo. And if you're really good, right? This one's really hard actually. But if you're really good, you can actually get a launcher with this no matter what. It's really tight. Yeah. But yeah, I don't bother doing it because it's like 1 or 2 frames. But the point is, it's possible lah. Yeah, whatever.
Is that supposed to be super tight or something?
Very tight, insanely tight. Like, I don't bother with it lah because I have better uses for heat. But I know it's possible because I tried it. Yeah. But yeah, back to 1.
Maybe you need to be.
Huh? Yeah.
I thought you sidestep to be closer to land or something. I don't know.
Yeah. Let me continue. So for now, back to 1. If let's say you know your opponent is just trying to turtle, you can just go back to 1 into Gen stance, and you essentially got a low and a mid mix up. A safe mid that guarantees a cool combo. A wasp black combo. And if you think to yourself, what if the opponent tries to mash after back to 1 because they think you are going to go into like, you know, do a mix up? Well, you got a 3rd hit actually. Back 2-1-2. It's safe on block as well, but the thing about this is if your opponent decides to mash, right, it's a full combo. Just like that, almost 80 damage, half your life just because you decided to punish. Keep in mind, right, back to 1 is a mid-high that even though it leads to a guaranteed mix-up, if your opponent is smart and ducks the string, you're dead lah. But that's why back to 2 is here. Like if your opponent tries to duck a lot, right, they get hit. You waste your turn, but it's safe on block, and your opponent gets hit. So it's a bit jarring to deal with lah. It's something that a lot of Juns try to use in neutral because it tracks, it leads to a mix-up, and it prevents the opponent from just simply like doing whatever they want in neutral lah. Because even if you don't want to do extension, right, you can just do back to 1, back to 1 into mix-up, and so forth lah. It just gets very jarring to deal with. Now moving on, you got her generic down for 1, her down back 3, down 4, down back 3, her generic tools lah. But you also got a few more tools that really makes her shine. Can. Now the thing about her is that she tends to lose her turn a lot. But if you know but that's why she actually is the anti Tekken 8 character, because she prevents people from just simply playing aggressive however they want. Yeah. So, and you might be thinking to yourself, okay, what if they decided to block the low, or what if they decided to, you know, hit you out of it? Well, oh, not this. You got parry. Now, combining two of these tools, right? You essentially got a budget Asuka, which cannot which doesn't really snowball as well, but her punishment is insanely good. The thing about June is that she really tries against people who try and like take their turn and play aggressive, because she has all these like parries and tools to prevent them from simply pressuring for free. She essentially gives you that mental that mental mix up. Do I take my turn at -9, or do I not, because I know she's going to parry me and I should just bait it out. She essentially, you have to play in such a way where you prevent your opponent from just simply like pressuring for free. You make them scared to press buttons with parries, cans, you got back three, and so forth lah. So in other words, you have to play in a very unconventional manner. You try and steal their turns a lot lah when you're on the back foot. Now let's move on to like, what else am I missing? Her key tools. Oh, there's a few more I haven't listed down. 443, very good neutral tool. Homing tool, what is it? Homing, -9 on block. However, she has an extension that knocks down and guarantees a follow-up on hit. Now, the thing about the follow-up is that you can actually jab in between, but the first hit is only -9, so it's not really a true S. But the thing about this is that you can use 443 on its own, and if you know your opponent is trying to like jab them out, you can just duck and waltzing 4, and that essentially creates a mind game for your opponent. Like, oh, I think my opponent is going to do the 443 follow up. I should jab, and then you just duck waltzing 1-4. Let me show you. Yeah, and I think you can sneak a 473 as well, yeah. Which is essentially very toxic lah. If you know your opponent is going to jab, you can essentially just do duck and 173 on reaction, and it creates this toxic mix-up on, do I jab or do I just let him do the follow-up, and so forth. Now what else? You got her side step. You also got her side step moves. Now this is +6 on block, and it's also a hit engager, and it deals a lot of damage. Fucking hell! All right, now. You also got sidestep 2 as well, which is knockdown on hit, and on counter hit, right, it guarantees a 4-4-1 +2 for pretty much 1/3 of your life lah. It's basically like a budget version of Asuka sidestep 2 without the evasion, but it's mostly used as a frame trap when after 1-2. For example, let's say you do 1-2 right on hit. You normally, June players, they like to do 1-2 on hit into sidestep 2 because it's a frame trap and you cannot armor, you cannot mash, you just have to block. If you armor through it, you die. Let's see. Forward 4. Now forward 4. Now another reason why it's really hard for you to actually like sidestep her is because her forward 4 is, well, plus on block, you can maintain pressure, and it guarantees follow-ups on hit. So forward 4 into a 13 frame follow-up, or forward 4 into hit engager. Sorry, hit dash, yeah. And if you have a bit of execution right at the wall, you can do forward 4 into a 4-1. See, if you do it too fast, she doesn't recover high enough to get the up 4-1. So you have to wait a bit. but essentially it gives 46 damage if done right. I rarely do this actually because I haven't really practiced it, but if you manage to get this down, you essentially have like a really good wall splat, because you will be using this apart from neutral, right? You'll be abusing this at the wall, and if you manage to get the hit right, well, bye bye the ally bar lah. Like 100 HP or 100 HP gone just like that. I think 100 HP. Let's see. Oh, 878. Yeah. Alright. Yeah, so and if I'm missing anything, pack 4, not really. One more. Down for 4. So it's minus 14 on block. However, the range is so long that unless you have a special character that can punish long range, you are not gonna punish down for 4 from range 3. Essentially impossible unless if you have the character for it lah. But the good thing about this is that even though it's unsafe and it's really hard to punish, and it's a counter hit launcher, so so this is another tool that Jun players like to use to prevent like opponents from simply coming in for free. Because you have to keep in mind that in Tekken 8, they removed a lot of counter hit launchers from a lot of characters. No more Magic Force, no more King back 1-2 and back 1 and so on. So having a counter hit like keep up move is essentially a rarity that Jun happens to have. The only downside to it is minus 14, but who's gonna punish a minus 14 at range 3, range 4? Like, yeah, range 3 connects. Yeah, 3. Oh, 2.9 lah. Yeah, basically the point is like she has a counter launcher that's unsafe, but pretty much impossible to punish for most characters. Yeah, I think that's pretty much the main tools. If I miss out anything, you just let me know lah. But I think that's pretty much what most Jun players would like to abuse in general. So next up, I'm gonna delve into how she likes to play in certain situations. So first off is neutral. So in neutral, right, she pretty much, her neutral is a bit sluggish because she doesn't really, what do you call it? She doesn't really have like a fast get in for free tool, like for example Juggernaut running 2 and so forth. But she has really good tools that prevent you from coming in towards her. You got Magic 4, you got down forward 4, you got 4-4-3. That is a homing, by the way, and it's really fast. It basically these are basically those that makes it so that the Jun player, it will make the Jun player like Jun players will have a hard time trying to approach your opponent, but against people who try to approach them instead, well, good luck lah. Like, good luck with all of this lah. And apart from that, you also got the keep out launchers, and most importantly 4-2, like 4-2 1+2 safe launcher, -9 on block, and it crushes highs. Well, almost every high, like jabs, Magic 4, grabs, and it's a heat engager as well. So pretty jarring to deal with. She can't approach well, but she can keep you out well, and that's what makes her special lah. She's the anti-Tekken 8 character, as I said. Now, playing aggressive. So the thing about Jun is that she has a bit of a rough time trying to play aggressive, because keep in mind the tools that she has that try and maintain pressure, right, are either very low damage or low range. Like for example 1-2, right? So the thing about her hands in general is that she suffers the same fate as Miguel in Tekken 7, if you know, where her hands are basically like T-Rex hands. So for example, right, Sending block, and then where's backdash? Okay. Wait, what was the... yeah, so you try to maintain the pressure, but she has a very... But she can just backdash for free lah, because like the thing about her hands is that, you know, they're very short range, so she can't really reliably maintain pressure. And if your opponent is like very sharp, you're dead. The moment you whiff that, you're dead already lah, if they really know the matchup. And that's what that's one of the main things that Jun suffers from when trying to pressure lah. Apart from that, she got like sidestep 4 as well, that allows her to pressure. But the one thing about sidestep 4, right, is that... Hold on, let me set this back. So sidestep 4 is +6, and it prevents you. It prevents the opponent from simply stepping too easily because you got down for 1. However, for certain characters, I've learned this recently. For example, if you're against Lily, right, you can do sidestep 4, and nothing will trackle. So it's something you also need to keep in mind lah, because trying to pressure with June is a bit of a character dependent thing, because some characters can just backdash half her arms because T-Rex arms, or they can sidestep her entirely because they have really good steps, like Alyssa and June and Lily. Now the thing is, her pressure revolves around her trying to mix up with strings lah. So you got the back to 1 string, which leads into Gen mix up, or you can just do it raw after you get the pass frames. And the good thing about this is that it's a counting move, so she can actually just get the follow up, and then like that's it lah. And then she can mix you up from there. Now lastly, we have defense. Now this is the bread and butter for her lah. Trying to approach June is like trying to approach June is pretty much like trying to outrun a cheetah. You can try, but it's pretty fucking hard, and odds are you're going to get eaten alive lah for trying to even just approach this character. So the reason why is apart from the fact she got really good neutral tools like 4-4-3, safe launches, and so forth, right? Even if you do manage to somehow get in, you got Kankans. She got Kankans to prevent the opponent from simply just pressuring for free. She got parries, so for example, if let's say yeah, so let's say I waste my turn, right? It's yeah, let's say I waste my turn. Wait, what the fuck? What the fuck? Basic. Fucking hell. Her T-Rex arm makes it hard. Okay, the point is, even though you're like -7, -8, or -9, it's still really hard for her to simply like. It's hard for the opponent to get that pressure because you can just parry or can as you will. You have to actually play frame type, and even then, the parry will most likely kill you lah. Even though most parries start at frame 5, it's a bit jarring to deal with when you're trying to pressure your opponent, and then you get parry for it. It's a bit annoying. And what else? The thing and apart from like having really good panic tools, right? Like, she also has back 3, but I don't need to get to that because if you played against Asuka before, you already know how jarring this is lah. Another thing that's good about her and Tekken 8 in general is the lateral movement is really good, and her movement is actually like considered to be like upper mid tier lah. Really good. It's on par with Dragunov. So you can, it essentially like forces you to really think about your decisions when trying to control her, because she'll most likely get to your back and then you're fucked lah. Oh, she also got this. So basically that is a Sabaki, and well, fuck, I can't do the combo. But the point is, yeah, I can't do the combo properly anymore. But it's pretty easy. Anyways, the point is, she has a lot of tools at her disposal, like parry, sabakis, can-cans, and the dreaded back three to simply prevent from the opponent from pressuring for free. Now let's go to the third topic, which is now I'm going to explain how to exploit her in neutral and when she's playing aggressive and when she's playing defensive. So the thing about her neutral, right, it's really jarring to deal with. I'm not even going to sugarcoat it. It's just really hard. Like, trying to approach her is not easy because she has a lot of tools at her disposal to prevent you from getting it too easily lah. However, the good thing about fighting against her is that she lacks a really powerful low outside of stance. Like down back 3, focus down low 4-2. Like, okay, this one has a countering property lah, but at the same time, right, like on its own it doesn't really do as much damage, and a lot of them, apart from down back 3, she actually loses a turn. Like this is 0 on hit, push 0 on hit, pushbacks on hit, you can't maintain pressure. That one is minus, and again, T-Rex arm, so you're not going to pressure at all. She suffers. It's actually very hard for her to open up the opponent, and the major part, she got no chip damage. Like size F4, right? Notice how neither one of us is losing like what do you call it? Chip damage. It looks like a move where you would actually lose HP as you block it, but look, I can just block all day. Plus frames. Oh, what am I gonna do? Down back 3. Oh damn, I lost like 14 HP. Damn, what a shame. So yeah, June in general, she's really she doesn't really have a lot of tools that actually allow her to open up the opponent, especially in neutral. So you can actually bide your time trying to approach her and not worry too much about getting killed. Because keep in mind, I know it's jarring. It's very jarring to approach June in general. But thanks to her losing HP, right, it actually evens it out for the opponent as well. Because if June wants to actually commit to making her move safe, she actually loses HP for it. So and the new patch makes her lose actual HP. So she can't really use her keep out launchers anymore, because you see, like if she keeps trying to do this, she loses like pretty much everything, and this adds up. It adds up a lot. Yeah, the more the June player tries to do like the keep out like buttons, the more they are going to lose everything. So in a way, that's why I said that if you play a patient against her, she really struggles to open people up, because there's only so much she can do with just like doing multiple down back 3s in a row, which in the grand scheme of things is nothing lah. Like if you get like there's no real reason to get flustered over like 14 damage. It's not like Brian's hatchet. So yeah, playing patient is the key to actually like trying to get her to crack, for one thing in neutral. But if let's say you decide to try and play aggressive lah, because you want to, everyone has their own way of playing, and if you want to play aggressive, you can still win with that as well. It's just a bit harder against June. But let's say you do that. So let's say you want to fight her against her defensively. Keep in mind, right, parries in this game are active at 5 frames. So if let's say she loses her turn at -9, right? So it takes 5 frames for her to activate her parry, and that would mean her parry would activate at the 14th frame if she does it from -9. So if you can do a 13 frame move and below in order to hit her for free, she cannot parry, she cannot do anything, she just has to block from -9 lah. And she has to respect it. She cannot parry, she cannot can. Like, even though she has all these tools at her disposal, you have to be very frame knowledgeable against the character lah, knowing when I can do my mid, when I can do my jab, or when should I not do it to prevent myself from getting parried or can or and so forth lah. You have to know which what tools loses a turn and allow you to simply maintain your pressure from there through frame traps. And speaking of frame traps, right, you generally don't want to force yourself to take your frames from her. Like, for example, let's say you're playing Dragunov and you're trying to fight a June who put herself at -9, right? Odds are you are most likely going to try and maintain your pressure by doing a down 2 or running 2, and then she does a can-cans and kill you. That has happened to me so many times as well. And I say this because I played both Dragunov and June. So against her, right, you generally don't want to extend your pressure too far. You want to actually play very frame type until you know that the June player is a very respective type. Then you can go balls to the wall, but odds are they're just going to can and parry you to death. And yeah lah, you just want to play frame type, or you just want to do nothing at all and let them hang himself. So for example, I should also mention one more thing. Okay, let's see. Wait. Oh, it's not here. Down 1. Oh wow, I have to record it. Okay, so the thing about her can-cans, right, is that it's actually the second hit is pretty linear. So I can do something like 441 plus 2, and I get hit by the first hit, right, but the second hit will wave. Doing it wrong. Oh, it's even better sometimes. So generally what will happen, right, is that you will get hit by the first hit, but the second hit will wave, and no matter what, you always get a 14 frame. Yeah, see, that's a punish. But in June's case, I guess she dodges it far enough that you can actually get a full combo. Yeah, see, you can't really do that on hit. On weave, yeah, full combo, just like that. So her can-cans are very linear, and if you know that she's going to do something like that, you can just sidestep. And the same applies to your parries lah. If you don't want to do anything, you can just, you know, sidestep block, or you can just like not do anything at all and just stand there and let her waste a turn. You are better off frame trapping and prevent to cover the parries and the can-cans, and either that or you just do nothing at all. Because the thing about June players in general, like the generic Junes, is that they like to do can-cans or any keep out tools to prevent their opponent from crashing for free. It's safer to actually lose the turn than to try and gain your turn, because she doesn't really have a lot of tools that allow her to pressure for free, but she has a lot of tools that will take your pressure like whenever she wants. And she cannot really pressure reliably because her chip damage moves. Keep in mind, some of the main tools she has for chip damage, right, also makes her lose HP. So if you are very confident in your defense, right, you can essentially just block. Like, you are losing a lot of chip damage lah, but keep in mind, most June players wouldn't do like 10 of this in a row, and she's also losing a lot of HP herself as well, and it's non-recoverable. At least for you, right, you can just do one hit engager, all come back already. Her, she loses it permanently. So playing defensive actually works to your favor against Jude in this case. You just have to not crack lah. Like you just have to be very confident in your defense. Because you can't really extend her pressure very well unless if you're very obvious, right? And she'll just do like the plus frame extensions, or she just does a beefy lows in stance, which you want to avoid lah. Which comes to point number 3. How do I deal with her when I'm trying to like play defense? Now, as I mentioned earlier, against a June player, right, you want to actually just play defensive because she can't really pressure you well. And I already mentioned the moves that she will like try to pressure with are side step 4, 4-4-1 plus 2, you got 4-4-2 into stance and so forth. Now let's say you go into a situation where your opponent is spamming 4-4-3 into the extensions, which also does chip damage, and she does 4-4-2 into stance. What are you gonna do? So if let's say I do 4-4-2, if your opponent does 4-4-2, right? Where is yeah. Now sorry. Now the thing about like 4-4-2 on hit, right, is that it's minus. Like it's minus actually, and if she goes into stance, right, which most June players like to do, if you have the read, right, if you know she's not gonna do the extensions, most of the time they try to do the follow up lah, like the the gen mix ups. You can just launch her for troubles if you are brave enough. However, if the June is smart, they can just deter it by doing like the first hit, which is only minus 12, or they do the extensions, which is a county launcher or a safe high that is pretty much like a knockdown lah, not much to say. Nice. So yeah, the 4-4-2 mix up is the only thing that you have to worry about June players who like to pressure, and essentially it's essentially like you either just mash or you either just try to interrupt her when she's trying to do 4-4-2, or you get very comfortable with your defense. Also, yeah, 4-4-2. This would be the only move that you would have to what do you call it, to look at in neutral lah. But for some reason, right, at least from what I discovered, it doesn't have, even for a 4-4-2 move, right, it doesn't extend as far as I thought it would be lah. So in a way, if you're very good at playing defense, right, wait, hold on. In a way, if you're very good at playing defense, you can actually just try and like backdash the fuck out of it and backdash the fuck out and just make her with the move entirely. Actually, I also don't know. Actually, I don't know how to set it up in the lobby also. But the point is, a lot of her tools that she tries to maintain pressure either leave her at a disadvantage as well, in a slight disadvantage, or it has 0 chip damage, so you can essentially just block for free. And keep in mind, none of these things leave her in full crouch, so you can just backdash away, right, and just tank the downfall, like 10 damage, whatever, 14 damage, whatever. And even the full crouch downfall too, right, it counter launcher that guarantees a counter launcher lah, basically counter load that guarantees a full launcher, but it doesn't have a lot of range. So again, if you are just confident with your pressure and you just, you know, backdash away, right, she cannot really go into full crouch and just like pressure you for get damage for free. She actually has to find a way to approach you and then just try and do like 50-50 picks up from there. So she needs to actually. So you have to keep in mind that against June players, they have to actually try and work for their aggression. And if they manage to get you tilted and try to approach them, then they win lah. Because their main game plan is to try and get you to approach them, since their defensive and neutral tools are so good. But her offensive tools, on the other hand, are lackluster. So trying to defend against June, as long as you are confident with the defense, it prevents her from simply like getting free damage, free easy damage, because all of the tools that she tries to pressure with makes her lose HP. And if let's say she tries to go for a hard read, like maybe this guy might retaliate. Safe launcher, sure, but again, she still has to lose HP. So yeah, if you are very confident in your defense, you can actually get away with the matchup. You just chip her bit by bit, just turtle your way out, and you eventually realize, oh, I now have the life lead, and this guy needs to actually needs to actually put in all the work to get the comeback, which all she can really do, right? If let's say you only block mids, just run up, do this, do like a hell sweep, which is okay, it's a hell sweep lah, but again, pretty risky. So yeah, she has and actually the thing is, right, up 2 is a up 2 is a pretty decent like homing tool in neutral, but at the same time, right, it doesn't really have a lot of range. And if you're really attentive, you can actually just duck on reaction and kill her for it, because she has a very short lag startup, like in the beginning where she spins and then it comes out. Yeah, like that. See, she spins and then the homing move comes out, so you can actually like duck on reaction. She doesn't have a consistent way of trying to open up the opponent, so if you turtle your way out, not much you can do. Not much she can do. So, and I guess we'll wrap it up with just showing her. I'll just show like what type of gimmicks she can do lah. So she essentially, so gimmicks, right? You got the back. So first things first, you got back 2, like back 2-1, which goes into string into the mix up. This is something that June players like to do. And if let's say they know the opponent is the type to mash a lot, they will just do the full string, which is a counter hit launcher, safe on block, but it makes June lose HP. So like I said before, right, if you're very confident with your defense, unless if you're like willing to duck the second hit, right, which in my opinion I think you should, because back 2-2 is like what chump change. Like it's only +3 and you lose like what, 10 damage? That's nothing. If you know the opponent is going to do like the second hit of back to 1, like the high hit, you can just duck and launch them. Because the mid version, right, in my opinion, is not that scary, because it pushes you back a bit on hit and it's only +3. So you are not really going to, you know, suffer a lot against like ducking the second hit. If anything, you can do this about 18 times before it actually kills you. See, this is nothing. All it takes is one back 2 and then she ducks it, then you know you're dead. So yeah, if you're against a June player who likes to abuse the back 2 strings, if you're very confident she won't do the mix up extensions, then you can just block lah. But otherwise, just duck the second hit and then launch her. So moving on, what else does she have? A lot of June players, they like to do. I'm sure you've seen some of this lah. 1-2-2, and what is it? 1-2-2 and 1-2 side step, or yeah. 1-2-2 and 1-2 side step. So the thing about this, right, is that you can actually OS both of these if you have a down forward move. Oh. Oh, this is 16. Ah, 16, okay. Alright, so 1 to 2, right? If you press the down forward input, right, it would actually force you to, let's say you do a down forward 1, right? The down forward input actually takes precedence instead of the button. So you can actually, like, if let's say you know the opponent is trying to mix this with the sidestep move, if the opponent sidesteps, you will get the down forward 1 out. But if you know, if the person does the full extension, you will duck. So you, in a way, right, you can do on the second hit, you can do the down forward 1, and if she does the high, you will automatically duck, and then you can do your wall sending punish. So in this case, you got Jun's wall sending punish is wall sending 3. So you press, so after the second hit, you press down forward 1 and 3 immediately. Something like this one. Ah yeah, some reason Jun gets that for some reason. I don't know why. Oh yeah, I guess it's a full crouch Jabla. But basically, right, I guess I can use down forward 2 lah, to make it easier. The point is, if let's say if she does a high, right, and you do down forward input, the down input takes more precedence than the actual input itself. So you would automatically duck before the third high comes out, and then you can just do a wall sending move from there lah. And if she does the sidestep move instead, oh, down for 2 is too slow. Down for 1 lah. Yeah, before she could even do the sidestep move, you already got this out. So if you mix 2 together, right, you basically allow yourself to OS both of the mix-ups, which is essentially quite fake lah. See? Down for 1. Oh my god. Yeah, that's pretty much it lah for that 1-2 string. You've seen a lot of Jun players try to abuse that. You can essentially OS the string by just doing a down forward input. If she does a high third hit, it ducks and you get a free wall sending punish, or maybe a standing punish lah if you didn't hold down long enough. And if she does a sidestep, well, if you got a fast move, right, you can essentially just beat her out lah. Like a, normally I would try to do like a fast mid, like a down forward 1, so that I don't get hit by the sidestep too easily. So in this case, 1-2, let's see, 1-2 on let's see, 1-2 on block is 1-2 on block is -1, and this is 16 frames. So it will trade with 15 frames, but if you got a 14 frame, you basically beat it lah. Like you can only do maximum 14 frames. So safe to say, you can do a generic down for 1 lah. Now what else? What other gimmicks that she likes to do? Up 4-4-3. I'm sure you've seen some June players do it before, and sometimes for those of you who fought June, there is a slight chance that you might have gotten hit by the second hit because it's so delayable. See, you try to mash, but you get hit. However, it's a regular standard hop kick lah, -12, so you can punish. But what if I told you you don't even need to block the second hit? You can just sidestep. You can just sidestep the second hit, like if you know it's coming. Fuck up, what? How am I fucking him up now? But the point is, like, if you just tap, it's not that hard actually, you just tap down. Man, I am not sidestepping well. All I have to do is press down. Yeah. There we go. That's what I'm trying to do. How is pressing down too hard? But yeah, basically, how am I fucking up pressing down? Whatever lah. The point is, you can step it actually. There's no way they changed it, right? This is linear as fuck. Jesus. I might need to reach a... Okay, you know what? Scratch what I just said. I think they might have changed it because actually it was supposed to be very linear and you could actually step the second hit. But I guess they might have changed that, so I guess call me wrong on that regard lah. So I think I'll ignore that for now. Apart from that, okay, so what else? Gimmicks. This. Yeah. So sidestep 1+2 is a high homing move that is -1 block, but it leaves her in full crouch. So some players, right, like they try to press jabs and then they get themselves counter hit because they didn't realize they try to like do a jab punish, or they try to like extend their pressure and then they get counter hit. This is some like a gimmick that June players like to do. So to beat this, you just do a generic mid or just a launcher lah. But the moment you see this 3-hit string, right, always do a mid. It's safe on block, it's -4, but it leaves her in full crouch. If you want, just do a generic down for 1. You never want to get yourself counter hit by this, like ever, by just doing a jab. See? Just do a mid. Yeah. Okay, what else, 4-4-3. So this is some this one's a bit tricky because if the June player is much, she can actually work around the mix up. So this move is +3 on block, and while it is linear, right, you can also jab in between to prevent yourself from, you know, to actually just float her and, you know, get a full combo. Most players try and step it because it allows them to get a full combo lah. And another thing about this is that if you do decide to jab, she can just duck and kill you, which is not what you want. So against people who like to use a 4-4-3 string, ideally you want to sidestep. But if let's say you want to try another option, you can just jab. Just to show you like what options you have lah. So yeah, if you see 4-4-3 string, if you can't like react to the sidestep in time, jab her. Like, it's not ideal because she can just duck and while standing move you, but like it's better than nothing lah if you know the extension is coming. What else does she have? So yeah, Dumbic, what is it? She got full crouch down 4-2 into this. So June players, right, the thing about this, the thing about this is that it's 0 on hit. So So June players, they, let's say you want to actually like do a mid check to beat them, right? Oh. Yeah. So sometimes you see them like try to do a mid. I mean, try to do like a full crush low, and you think to yourself, I should do a mid check to hit her out, and then you get counter hit, and that's actually a combo. Yeah, see? All connected. So yeah, like the thing about this is that if you try and retaliate with a mid, you are getting counter hit regardless, because it's 0 on hit and both moves are 13 frame. And you might think to yourself, what if I just do a jab? She's going to do like a 30 frame mid. My jab, which is 10 frame, will beat it. Well, you're putting yourself in the second mix up, because you can just do a second full crouch down for 2, and you do a jab string. Well, GG's lah. You get counter hit, and then like you lose half your life with a wall sliding 3. So when you get hit by the full crouch down for 2, right? The one thing you want to do, if you have the backdash for it, or if you are like not in range 0, like you want to just backdash. Like that's the best thing you can do. Depending on the character, you are able to make it whiff entirely after the first hit. But if let's say she does it like tip rain, you get a full punish the moment you see her whiff. When you see her do this hand sweep, you have nothing to worry about, because she loses. It's nothing. It's literally just like a standard low that is deadly on counter hit. But if you don't play her game by just, again, backdashing and playing defensive, playing turtley, what can she do? Swipe my legs? Die. Just die. Like, yeah, just like that. She can't really extend pressure very well, as long as you don't try to play her game. Just block, just backdash. Yeah. Like against, but I understand lah. When you fight Junes in rank, it's actually very jarring to deal with her strings and movesets because you're unfamiliar with the character. But given enough time and understanding, and when you realize that you can just like turtle your way out, like have very confident defense and just lap the strings, it is actually really, she actually has a very difficult time trying to open people up. So if you're confident with your defense and you're not like tilted, you don't tilt yourself very easily, you can just turtle your way out, and she cannot do much lah. Like you either beat of cheat damage, fine, but all it takes is one mistake, and then that's it for her. All this because she decided to do sweeps. Just a simple low sweep. I think if you honestly, right, you ask Aslan Ash about June, she'll fucking say, oh, overrated. Actually, he did say that live lah, but yeah, back to the point. So that's actually one of the main gimmicks June players try to do lah. Down 4-2 into down 4-2. What else? Let's see. I already did this. I already did this 4-4-2 strings. I don't think, like, I could actually talk about can-cans, but there's not really much to address apart from the fact that you just want to make sure you frame trap or you don't overextend. You just sidestep block, or you don't overextend yourself lah. You play frame type or you don't do anything at all. Basically make her do the work and make her hang herself, because she can't really reliably pressure well, since all of her like pretty much almost all her moves that deal tube damage actually make her lose HP as well, and the ones that don't make her lose HP is very linear. Just step the second hit, and it is what it is. Yeah, I don't think there's much else for me to cover for her at the moment lah. I think that's pretty much like the base summary of how I what is it? How I would usually fight against Jun, or how the stuff I know with Jun lah. So for those of you who are still here, anti-hit gameplay oh yeah, good question. So play heat. So play heat. What's the difference between? So what's usually her goal? So in heat, right? You got two options. She got several options. She can use her heat smash to gain HP or to use as a punish. Just replenish her like her life lah. And it's pretty fast. It's 13 frames, but it's -6 on block. So the moment she loses, so the moment she uses it, right, you can essentially try and frame trap and just like take your turn lah, basically. But apart from that, right, she can actually pressure a bit more reliably. Oh wait, they actually made it worse. Oh yeah, yeah, I forgot. In this patch, right, she actually loses like actual HP even in heat. Normally, right, if you are in heat, you don't actually lose any chip damage HP at all. Because of the new patch, like if you look at the top left bar, she loses real HP. So even in heat, she suffers just a bit lah. But generally in heat, she has the access to just like pressure a bit more efficiently lah, because she got 441+2, and sidestep 4 has chip damage lah. Now in heat, she basically has an option to just pressure really well. But at the same time, right, because her moves don't really have like apart from a 441+2 and 442, she can't really extend pressure really well. So turtling would still, even in my opinion, right, this would still be the best case solution, right? Like just to hold on. Like she can only do so much like sidestep 4s, and eventually she's going to just have to approach and like pressure again, just run up and pressure, which leaves her open to getting like retaliated. So technically her main gameplay is to try and deal as much chip damage as possible, or she tries to expand her heat smash in order to, you know, gain her HP back, recover her HP if any, or she tries and does a 421+2 hit confirm. So the thing about this, right, is that like I mentioned earlier, 421+2 is hit confirmable. You can actually just do this over and over and over, and you don't even need to hold forward until she gets hit. Right? Yeah, it is random block. Yeah, hold on. Okay, yeah, okay. How do I... So, I wanted to random block, but basically the point is, right, the moment you see them get hit, right, see? You can just do this over and over. The moment they get hit, then you hold forward. That's basically another thing that June players like to do. Or if you know you're going to lose your hit anyway, you can just hold forward lah. But that's obvious for any character. The point is, she has the heat smash that is essentially just hit confirmable. Like you try to connect the first 2 hits, and you can just hold forward at the very end. You have so much leniency, so you can just like chuck out a safe launcher and get a free combo from there lah. Yeah, like that, see? I only did it the moment she got hit. It was really not that hard. Yeah, like that. So yeah lah. Those are the main things she likes to do in heat lah. She tries to. Her gameplay is more or less the same, except she has an easier time trying to pressure you, because now all her moves have chip damage, which is a bit scary to deal with. Sidestep 4 having chip damage is very fucked. But the game plan does not change. You essentially you still want to actually like turtle against her, because again, she doesn't really have an easy time trying to open up turtles. That's why if you're very good at like, if you know how to play active defense, like you know how to do keep up moves, you know how to like just block when they're trying to pressure you, she cannot do much. Keep in mind, she can only do this in heat, and heat to her is actually very valuable because she needs it to recover her recoverable HP, which is used when she tries to do like the safe launches in neutral, which like arguably you would see this with every June lah. You would see every June just try to, you know, throw out safe launches and hope they can catch their opponent, only to realize then they're just blocking. I'm losing so much HP because I'm trying to control neutral with my safe launches, and now I'm dead. You won't see a lot of like good June players try to just abuse this in general lah, but the point still stands that when you fight a June, turtling is your best option, because what the fuck are you gonna do? What the fuck are they gonna do? I mean, yeah, they won't do something like this in general lah, but it's just to give you an idea that the more you block, the more they are getting punished for trying to do the safe on block bullcrap, and the more they need to take risks because they're actually losing HP in trying to pressure. They even lose HP in trying to do combos. So yeah, it's something you just need to, it's just food for thought lah. You want to play passive in general, even in heat. So I think that's pretty much all I can say with June in heat lah. Any other do you have anything you want me to ask Direns? Anything you want me to clarify? Anything you want to know about and so forth? Tiger? Alright, anyone else? Anyone else got any other questions about June? Anything you want to know about how to play against her, how to play as her, or maybe do you have a specific character do you want to try against June? Like something you want me to, you know, showcase?
Jacob, this is Igna Julius. Actually, do you have a time for review or just a short question? If for June, I mean, like I was playing June on tournament.
Okay.
But actually, if you have a time, but if you don't have a time, just a short lah. Jacob, actually, how to read the? I mean, like how do you do you use genjutsu for what, for parry the low moves or the throw most of the times?
Nope.
The genjutsu. Oh yeah.
Nope, because why am I going to use a parry when I can just break the throw? Like doing this, right, it leaves you open to getting hit by mid launchers, and it's not worth the risk just to cover some lows or some some throws lah. And arguably speaking, blocking the low would actually be a better case, because you have your full crouch down for one, which if their back is nearly against the wall, they lose like half their life just because they decided to do a low. There's no reason to use it for the parry aspect itself. If you get it by accident, good for you. It happens to be also. But you would never want to use the parry function from this stance unironically, because it doesn't work well in the long run. Since, you know, oh, you do this, oh, they do a keep out launcher, GG's. Normally, you want to use this for the mix up. Yeah. Gormless June players. 50-50. Yeah, this is a this is the one thing she can really do really well lah. Yeah. So remember when I said something about active def? Actually, you just actually this is something that reminded me. Remember when I said something about active defense, right? It's for this. So the reason why you don't want to turtle too much, because if the June player catches on, they can just do this, and they can just do 4-4-2 into mix up. However, if you are very confident, however, because most of the time, right, you can just tank the low, in my opinion. And if you know that the June player will go into stance, you will try and do your best to just simply like hit her, or maybe hit her, or maybe even like what do you call it, launch her lah, because she can't really again maintain pressure without going into stance. And even then, this one's a bit sluggish because you need to actually do it from a move which is a bit telegraphed and somewhat awkward hitbox as well. Or no, yeah, that's actually pretty much it. Like she really just needs to go into stance and do this. But if you're really confident in like it's the same as like blocking headshot lah. If you're confident in your defense and you know how to actually keep them out with like keep out down for ones, keep out launches, then you're set. Because defense is the way to go against her lah. You want to make her come to you. You never want to go against her. You go against her, she parries, she cans, you're dead. So yeah, I think that answers your question, Julius. For that regard lah, because Genjutsu isn't really a stance that you want to actually use the parry unironically. You want to use it for the mix-up potential that I just showed just now. So yeah.
Okay, thank you, Jacob.
No problem. Anyone else? Anyone else want to know anything about like June, how to fight against her with your specific character? Well, if no one else is here, I think we can just wrap it up lah. So I'll stop the recording here.